So as promised, I have come back again with the theory video of statistical mechanics. Okay. So first we will start with heat engine and heat pump. Okay. So we will deal with this two topics simultaneously. Okay. Heat engine. In this video we will study about the theory part of the statistical mechanics. Also we will do some sums related to it. Okay. So heat engine and heat pump. We can also call this as refrigerator. Okay. See, heat engine is basically what happens here. Here, heat is basically converted to work. Okay. Now suppose there is a source and there is a sink. Now source is at a temperature T1 and sink is at a temperature T2. Okay. Obviously T1 is greater than T2. So source is called basically hot and sink is basically called cold. Okay. Now from this work is done, useful work is done on a system, and then this Q2 amount of heat is delivered to the sink. Okay, Q1 amount of work from the source the system is taking to do a useful work, and then the rest is delivered to the sink. That is the cold system. Okay, now we need to find efficiency. We will get questions related to efficiency. Now we know what efficiency is. What it is, the output delivered by input given. Who is giving input? The source is giving input. Okay, and what is the output? This work done by this system is the output. So output is the work done and input is what? This from the source, the heat or absorbed by this system is the input. Okay, heat absorbed by the system is the input. Now work W and heat absorbed, that is Q1. Now what is W? Now you see this Q1 heat, first work is done and then again the rest amount of heat energy is transferred to the sink. That is Q2 amount is transferred to the sink. So we can say total Q1 is what? W plus Q2. So W can be written as, that is the work can be written as the difference between the heat energies of the source and the sink. Okay. So W is equals to Q1 minus Q2. So eta we can say Q1 minus Q2 by Q1. That is 1 minus Q2 by Q1. This is our efficiency eta. Okay, correct. Now, in case of Carnot engine, we will get a relation that Q2 by Q1 equals to T2 by T1. So sometimes this equation is also very useful while solving problems in questions. Okay, we will also solve problems so that this concept will be clear. Okay, after some time only we are going to solve questions. So this we will get in case of a Carnot engine. Okay, so if we use this formula also, we'll get a formula of eta, that is efficiency, that is 1 minus Q2 by Q1 can be replaced by T2 by T1. Okay, it's just parallel to this we will also learn now what is heat pump or what is refrigerator. See, here what happens, just the reverse of the heat engine. This is the hot, that is our source, this is the sink. Here what happens, heat is given by the sink. Okay, work is done, see the arrow, and then the rest amount of heat is transferred to the hot, that is the source. Okay, this one is at a temperature T1, this one is at a temperature T2. See, basically why refrigerator? What happens in a refrigerator? Suppose this is the refrigerator. Okay, what does refrigerator do? From the sink, that is basically the temperature of a refrigerator is to be kept cold. That is, its temperature is lower, right? So it does not basically absorb heat. It rejects heat. Okay, it does not absorb. You can see this. It is giving the heat to the hot. Hot means the surrounding. Correct. See, obviously we know that our room temperature is obviously greater than that of the temperature which is inside the refrigerator. Correct. So this, you see the arrow side, it is towards the hot. Okay, basically it is rejecting heat. So here, instead of eta, we define another term. This is alpha, that is called as the coefficient of performance. This alpha is called the coefficient of performance. Okay. Now this alpha is again the same just like eta, output by input. Now here, what is the output? Suppose this is Q1 and this heat transfer is Q2. Here output is what? Here output is Q2 and here input is what? W. You see this here, this work done W is the input and the output is what? Output is Q2, that is the sink, that is this is the cold reservoir, that is the cold reservoir. Okay, now here, now again we will calculate here W. Here you see the direction, here is Q2, here is work done and here is Q1. So direction is what? This Q1 is equals to this W plus Q2. Okay, here what happened in case of a heat engine, this was Q1 which work was done and the rest was transferred to the sink, and here the arrow is in this side. Okay, so W is again what? Q1 minus Q2. So alpha is what? Q2 by Q1 minus of Q2. Okay, so there is also a relation between the efficiency eta and the coefficient of performance. Relation between coefficient of performance and efficiency eta. Okay, we know what eta is equals to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Okay, and we got alpha is equals to Q2 by Q1 minus Q2. So 1 by alpha can be written as what? Q1 minus Q2 by Q2, that is Q1 by Q2 minus of 1. Okay, so from here we can say what? Q2 by Q1 is equals to what? 1 minus eta, or Q1 by Q2 equals to 1 by 1 minus eta. So this I will transfer it here. So I will get 1 by 1 minus eta minus of 1. So 1 minus eta, 1 minus eta. That is equals to 1 minus 1 cancel out, eta by 1 minus eta. So I am getting what? 1 by alpha is equals to eta by 1 minus eta, or I can say alpha is equals to 1 minus eta by eta. So I am getting what? Alpha is equals to 1 minus eta by eta. Okay. Now you see the values of alpha and eta. Efficiency eta can never be greater than 1. Equals to 1 is also an ideal case. Equals to 1 is also an ideal case. Okay. Now since 1 minus eta by eta, this is less than 1 and this quantity is also less than 1. Lesser this quantity, more we are going to get the value of alpha. Basically the value of alpha is much greater than 1. Okay, you will get to know the value of alpha when we will do the sums. Okay, so you understood what is heat pump and what is heat engine. Okay, so now we will do some sums regarding this first, so that our concept must be clear that what we have learned, right? Okay, so first question is what? Our first question is, it's for a Carnot engine. For a Carnot engine, here T is silent. Okay, source temperature is 300 Kelvin and sink temperature is 200 Kelvin. Calculate efficiency. It's an easy question. See, I told you one formula for Carnot engine, that is eta is equals to 1 minus T2 by T1. Okay, where T1 is greater than T2, that is T1 is greater than, remember the diagram, this was the source, this is work done on the system, then this is the sink, this is Q2, this is Q1 and this is W. and this was at a temperature T1, this one is a temperature T2, and T1 is greater than T2. So 1 minus T1 is greater than T2. So this is T1 and this is T2. So I am getting 300 minus 200 by 300, that is 100 by 300, that is 1 by 3. Another thing, eta is dimensionless quantity. Okay. Whenever you are doing a problem and when you are seeing the value of eta I am getting is less than 1, that means you have done right. Okay. Next question. Question number 2. Question number 2. Okay. Let us consider again a Carnot engine. These are all PYQs. Okay. Takes 1000 calorie of heat. You know what is the relation between calorie and joule? Yes, I know you know that. T is equals to 627 degrees Celsius. T is the temperature and sink. Say I am framing a question again. Okay, I am not writing a proper sentence. The major point I am highlighting this. Okay. Okay. We need to find the work done by the engine. My main motive is always not to waste your time, so that I am always just mentioning the important points and I'm proceeding in that way when I'm solving the questions. Okay. Yeah, I can write the full question, nothing, this extra sentences will come and nothing more. Work done by the engine. This we need to find, and also this is first. Also second, you need to find the heat rejected to the sink. Heat rejected to the sink. So I am telling you what is asked and what is given. They have said a Carnot engine. Okay, this is our source. This is our source. This is work done. This is our sink. This Q2, Q1, this is sink. This is at a temperature T2. This is a temperature T1. T1 is greater than T2. Okay. Source sink temperature is given. So this is, I can say T1 and this is, I can say T2. Okay. You need to find the work done by the engine. Okay. We know what work done is what? Q1 minus Q2. Clear? And we need to find the heat rejected to the sink. Okay. So Q1 minus Q2, if I take Q1 common, I can write 1 minus Q2 by Q1. Right? Okay. So we know efficiency eta is equals to what? 1 minus Q2 by Q1. So if I calculate eta, then I can say work done is equals to Q1 into eta. This is also a formula. So let's first find eta. We know T2 and T1 is given. Also we know eta is equals to 1 minus T2 by T1. So T1 is given what? This is the source temperature. It is given 627. Convert it into Kelvin. You will get what? 900. T2 is what? Source. Sorry, sink. Sink temperature is given how much? 27 degrees Celsius. Okay. So this is 300 Kelvin. Okay. So 1 minus T2. T2 is what? 300. T1 is what? 900. So this is 600 by 900. That is 2 by 3. So we got eta is equals to 2 by 3. Very good. Q1 is given in the question. In the question Q1 is given 1000 calorie. So just multiply it and you will get 1000 into 2 by 3 is 0.67, right? So 670 calorie. So we got our answer as 670 calorie. Extra thing we calculated, that is eta, that was not asked. But this was needed for calculating the work done. Okay. And what they have asked, heat rejected to the sink. Okay. Heat rejected to the sink is what? Q2. So what is Q2? Which formula we should use? You can also use this eta formula also. Eta is equals to what? 1 minus Q2 by Q1, right? Okay, eta is given 2 by 3 is equals to 1 minus Q2 by Q1. This also, there are many formulas for finding Q2. I will tell you, wait, 1 minus 2 by 3, that is equals to Q2 by Q1. So this is 1 by 3, that is Q2 by Q1. So Q2 is basically Q1 by 3. See, this is one formula. Second, also this is one process. Okay, this is process number 1. Process number 2, see, work done is equals to what? Q1 minus Q2. We just calculated work done. So Q2 we need to find. So Q2 is what? Q1 minus W. Q1 is given 1000 and work done we calculated 1000 into 2 by 3. That is 1000 into 1 by 3. Here also if we put the value of Q1, that is we are going to get 1000 by 3. So this is also a process, this is also a process. Another process I am telling you. Another process also I am telling you. For Carnot engine, especially for Carnot engine, we know T2 by T1 equals to Q2 by Q1. So Q2 is equals to what? T2 Q1 by T1. T2 is given 900. No. T2 is given, I think 300. No, it was 300 by 900 into Q1 is 1000. So we are getting 1000 by 3 calorie. All these are calorie. So in by 3 process we calculated Q2. Okay. So in this way we have done this sum. I hope the concept of heat engine and heat pump is clear to you. Right? Okay. So next we will now talk about work done. Okay, we will get some questions in the examination where we will get graph and they will ask you to find the work done, or also with the help of graph you can they can ask you what is the efficiency of the cycle. Okay, so we will do that type of sums. Okay, first we will read some part of the theory. So let's go with the theory first. Okay, if any graph is given, suppose if the axis is like this is the temperature T and this is the entropy S. Okay, or you can get PV. Okay, and if suppose any like this a curve is given, then the area under this curve, okay, this area under this curve, this will give you what? Work done. Okay, this area under the curve will give you the work done. So now let us consider isothermal process. Okay, now let us suppose isothermal process. Let us consider. In case of isothermal process, we know what? Our temperature is constant. So that means our internal energy is equals to 0. So del Q is equals to del U plus del W. This is our first law of thermodynamics. So del Q, del U is 0 is equals to del W. Okay. Del Q is dGs and this is our PdV. So if we integrate both, we will get our total work done and the total heat. Okay, total heat exchanged. Now, isothermal process, if this is S and this is T, isothermal process can be explained how? This way, constant temperature, right? So, area under this will give us what? Work done. PdV, area under this T and this ds, a change in entropy, this is ds, will give us what? PdV, correct? Okay. Now, in case of a cyclic process, we know for cyclic process, our internal energy del U is equal to 0. Why? Because del U is what? U is a state function. It depends upon the initial and the final state. And in a cyclic process, our initial and final state are what? Same. Right? So basically we get del U equals to 0. So again we will get del Q is equals to del W. So area under the curve TdS, or it will give us what? PdV. Okay. So this is clear. Now we will do some sums. Okay, because whenever we will do sums, our concept will be more and more clear. Okay, so let us do a sum. This sum will be related to the graph, which will help you to know how to find the work done. Also, it will be related to the efficiency. Okay, so let's see. Let's do a problem. Question, you see this is a graph. This is the graph of F and this is T. This side, see, this is T and this is S. Okay, so let us consider two blocks. Okay, these two blocks are identical. Okay, it doesn't looks identical, but it is identical. So let me draw it again. Let me give it a try so that it must look identical. Okay, pretty much they are looking identical. Okay, now this A and B, I'm writing this A and B are identical means what? They are the same size, that is the area will be the same. Okay, so if the area is same, that is the work done with WA and WB will be same. Work done is what? This area under this of this cover, this is the work done. Okay, and what will be the heat? If this was TS graph now, if this was TS graph and if there were two such blocks, then the work done is calculated in this way, and the heat, that is the Q, this one will be calculated by this. Okay, I am using different ink. Then our Q will be this whole thing will be Q for A block and for B block, this whole thing, that is the total area under the curve. Work will be our area under this block, and our Q, that is the heat, will be total area, this. Okay, but this is ST, this is not TS. So we will use which axis? We will use this axis. We will use this axis. For the first, this total is the QA, and for the second, this brown pen, this total is QB. Okay, are you getting what I'm saying? This is ST and this is TS, mind it. Okay, now suppose there's nothing, they have not given here any point and nothing, so we have to just assume. Now suppose that this QA, okay, suppose we need to find QA first. What is Q and QB? Also in the question they have asked that eta A, the question is basically to find the ratio between these two efficiency. So WA is equals to WB. So we need to find Q and QB. If we find Q and QB, we will get this ratio. Because eta A by eta B is what? Work done by QA, output by input, right? So this is basically we are getting it what? We are getting QB by QA. So now our work is to find QB and QA. QB is what? You see this. I am drawing this graph again. These are identical blocks. Okay. Okay, identical blocks, and also one more thing. This distance, these blocks are identical. Yeah, they are looking identical, and this distance is same. Okay, suppose if this, suppose if I am drawing like this, if I am drawing some blocks here, okay, if I am drawing some blocks here, suppose 1, 2 block I have drawn, 3, 4, 5, 6. Here also 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 blocks I have drawn. Okay, and these two are having the same area. So this total area, okay, suppose this total area, here I have drawn 6 blocks, here 6, here 6, here 6. So basically 24 blocks. So the total area is 24 blocks, and each block is having area of 1. Suppose 1 meter square, centimeter square, whatever you say. Suppose 24. Okay, this is QB, and QA. QA is what? This is QA. B I am not drawing. We don't want B. So this here I am getting 6 blocks, and this is 6 blocks. Okay. I have considered this also 6 blocks, this also 6 blocks, same area. So here I am getting 12 blocks, and each block is having area 1 unit of area, meter square, centimeter square, whatever you want you can say. So basically we want QB by QA. So I can say what? This is 24 and this is 12. So this is 2. So QB is basically 2 times QA. Clearly also with the symmetry of the figure also you can understand that QB, this area covered, this area is twice this area. Okay, if this was TS graph, so this would be. So if it was TS graph, you can clearly say that QA and QB is what? Same. Q and QB is same. So here we can get the efficiency eta as 1. That is the ideal case. But this is not TS graph. This is ST graph. You're getting my point, right? So eta is basically what? Ratio of Q by QA, which we got, sorry, what was our efficiency eta? What happened? Eta is QB by QA. Okay. This is actually a ratio. Ratio of eta A by eta B. Yeah. That's why I was thinking that how can eta be 2? Because eta cannot be greater than 1. This is the ratio of eta A by eta B. This is 2. That means the efficiency of A block is twice times the efficiency of the B block. So our answer is 2. Okay. Option can be like 2, 1 by 2, 2 third, 1 third, whatever. So if they have asked this ratio, our answer is 2. I hope this you understood the concept of heat pump, heat refrigerator, and how to calculate the work done and the heat and the efficiency when graph is given. If a PV graph is given, how to calculate, and if TS graph is given, how to calculate. Now we will discuss a theory thing again, and this theory is what? The topic of this theory is that slope of the adiabatic process, and isothermal process. Okay. See, we know our ideal gas equation. What is our ideal gas equation? PV is equals to nRT, right? So now I will differentiate. See, V del V for a small change. So del, okay? N, R, these are constant, del T. Okay, now isothermal. Isothermal means what? Isothermal, same temperature, del T equals to 0. So we are getting what? P del V plus V del P, that is equals to 0. So P del V by del P, that is equals to V, or del V by del P, that is equals to minus of V by P, correct? Or del P by del V, that is equals to minus of P by V. Okay, now this is the slope of what? PV graph. This is the slope of PV graph, right? If this was x and this was y, then how do we write the slope? As dy dx, right? So this is V and this is P. The slope is dp dv or del p del v for a small change. So we are getting minus P by V. Okay, so this is our slope in case of isothermal. Now for adiabatic, we know PV gamma is equals to constant. So now if I differentiate this, what we will get? P gamma V gamma minus 1. Can take dV del delta V, same thing, small change, both that means only. Here you will get no such change, okay. Now if you take dP, V to the power gamma is equals to constant 0. So now we want dP dV, okay. So P gamma V to the power gamma by V dV is equals to minus dP V to the power gamma. This V to the power gamma, V to the power gamma is getting cancelled out. So we are getting dP by dV, that is equals to minus of P gamma by V. So basically we are getting PV gamma. So this is what? Slope of isothermal curve. So basically the slope of a diabatic curve is gamma times slope of isothermal curve. So we know gamma is always greater than 1. That means slope of adiabatic curve is greater than slope of isothermal curve. Okay. So slope of adiabatic curve is greater than isothermal curve. So this is iso and this is adiabatic. This is here V and this is here P. So you understood this? Why we are getting the slope of adiabatic curve is greater than the slope of isothermal curve. Okay. So this is done. Now we will deal with thermodynamic potential. There are 4 thermodynamic potential which we need to know. One is obviously we know, that is our U, that is our internal energy. We know what is our internal energy. Second is our enthalpy. Third is Helmholtz free energy. And fourth is Gibbs free energy. Before that, we will read a very small topic, and that topic is what? That topic is our isothermal compressibility and volume coefficient of expansion. Isothermal compressibility and volume coefficient of expansion. Volume coefficient of expansion. Okay. So what is this? Isothermal compressibility. Isothermal compressibility is defined as KT. Isothermal means you understood temperature is constant. So we are writing T in the subscript. Okay. This is what? This is 1 by beta. Now you will say what is beta? Beta is bulk modulus. Beta is what? Bulk modulus. How do we define bulk modulus? We define bulk modulus by the change in pressure divided by minus of del V by V. Suppose the change in pressure we can write del P. So this is minus sign is here del V by V. This is we define as beta. So how we will define as KT now? Just reciprocal of it. So del V by V minus by del P. If we have to write in differential form, we will write dV dP 1 by V, obviously at constant temperature T. So this we define as isothermal compressibility. Every year, not every year, but every like JAM, JEST, PFI, CSINet, this quantity, this term is so important. You will sure expect a question. They will just ask you, they will give you 4 options and they will just ask you which is the value of KT, that is the isothermal compressibility. Or they can give you an expression and they will tell you find the value of KT. We will deal a question with this because it's a very important thing. Okay, all the topic I am discussing, these are the major topics, important topics. Okay, now this is KT. Another thing which I said, that was volume coefficient of expansion. This is defined as alpha. Now what is this? This alpha, that is the volume coefficient of expansion. This is a materialistic property. Okay, this is a materialistic property. Like there are many materialistic property. Like I am telling, I am reminding you. See, suppose we know resistance R is equals to rho L by A. This resistivity. This is also a materialistic property. It varies to material. Okay. So this is materialistic property alpha and it is defined how? Suppose there is a rod. After I am hitting this rod, the length of the rod is increasing very slightly. So that's why we use del. So if the length is increasing, obviously volume will increase, right? So V2, if V2 is the final volume, we write V2 is the initial volume 1 plus alpha del T. This we have read in class 11-12. There was a chapter like isothermal expansion. I hope you are remembering this. Now V2 minus V1 now can be written as 1 plus alpha del T. This is what? The change in volume. So del V is equals to 1 plus alpha del T. Right? So del V minus 1 by del T is equals to alpha. Sorry, this was not V2 minus V1. This is V2 by V1. Sorry. Let's calculate again. Yeah. V2 is equals to V1 plus V1 alpha del T. So this is V2 minus V1 by V1 equals to alpha del T. This is what? Change in volume by the original volume alpha del T. So alpha is what? Del V del T 1 by V. So obviously this is at constant pressure. Okay. So we are getting alpha, that is the isothermal compressibility. Sorry, alpha, that is the volume expansion coefficient, as del V del T at constant 1 by V. Also you can write this in terms in this way. This is partial derivative, okay, when P is constant. So this is our isothermal compressibility. Now we will do some sums, okay, because doing sums is the most important thing. So question 1. Suppose in the question, in the exam, they have given an ideal gas equation. They have given ideal gas equation. This is a PYQ. They have asked this question, and this is a, I think this is a gate question. Ideal gas equation PV equals to RT. Okay. Now they have asked what is the volume coefficient of expansion. That is alpha they have asked. Okay. We know what alpha equals to 1 by V del T at constant P. Now from this we will see del V del T is what? R by P. Right. So 1 by V R by P. Now R PV is again what? RT. So this way I am getting what? 1 by T. So alpha is basically inversely proportional to the temperature T. Options can be like exact value they can ask, or they can also say alpha is what? Dependent on pressure, dependent on volume, proportional to temperature, inversely proportional to temperature. Like these options also you can get. Okay. Now next question we will deal with isothermal compressibility, that is KT. Okay, same question, ideal gas equation is given, PV equals to RT, you need to find the value of KT. Okay, so again we know what KT is what? Minus 1 by V del V del P at constant T. So now P dV plus V dP, that is equals to R dt. Now here T is constant, that means this is 0. So P dV equals to minus V dP. So dV by dP is equals to what? Minus V by P. Okay, so we will substitute this value minus 1 by V minus V by P, that is equals to 1 by P. So this is our answer. So I hope you understood this. So today we will stop here. Okay, today we will stop here. We have read a lot of theory. We have also done some problems related to it. Next video we will talk about thermodynamic potential, and I will tell you some trick how to remember the relations, different relations, like Maxwell relations is important. Okay, and also we will do some sums related to it, that what type of sums can come. This we will read, and from yes, to find the number of microstate for fermions, bosons and Maxwell's, like classical gas, that is distinguishable particles and indistinguishable particles. This I have already taught, so this is already done. Okay, next video we will talk about thermodynamic potential. Okay, see, I am telling you what are the topics. Thermodynamic potential. Okay, then we will read about density of states. Okay, we will read also general formula of density of states. This we will find, and we will also find how to find the value of partition function. Okay, we will first deal with the concept of partition function and how to find the value of partition function for a quantum harmonic oscillator and for a classical harmonic oscillator. So this we will deal. Also we will find some important relation between CV, G, that is Gibbs free energy, internal energy, Helmholtz free energy, F, all in terms of partition function Z. So that if Z is given in the exam, so if they have asked these values, we need to know what is the relation that is connecting these terms with our partition function Z. So this will be our main motive in our next theory lecture of statistical mechanics. Okay, so thank you so much. Keep studying. Subscribe my channel, like the video and share with your friends. It will be helpful for all those who are preparing for JAM, CSI, NET, GATE, TIFI exam. These are all upcoming exams. First TIFR is coming on 12th of December. Then NET has already announced its date, 29th of January. Then GATE is coming. Then JAM is coming. So just start, prepare well. Any help you want from my side, please let me know. Comment, join my Telegram channel. Thank you so much. Keep studying.